Hey everybody, John Reap here.
And Sarah Tiana.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fried Podcast.
Happy Friday.
Hope you're having a great holiday time, great Christmas. We are with our families right now.
Yeah.
But we managed to scrape something together for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hope you enjoy this weird, crazy hodgepodge of an episode of the Fried Podcast.
So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and sorry we're not together.
But we'll be back.
But we'll be back.
And we love you.
Yeah.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried and cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
I'm here with my friend Jennifer. Say hello, Jennifer.
Hi.
Well, you don't have to look at the phone. And then her husband Ryan.
Grab it.
Say hi, Ryan.
Hey.
And then Jake, who's one and trying to grab the phone, and he's probably gonna put some salt and pepper on it right now. So this house I semi grew up in a way.
Yeah.
I've been here at least 3 or 4 times.
More than that.
We used to spend the night. I used to spend the night here.
Yes.
And I can't. Do you remember how you used to let me borrow your clothes all the time?
I do. And shoes. Funny thing is, I used to think you were the cool one though.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I did.
because I was poor and I didn't have any clothes.
I
Jake.
don't know, because you had a pool.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the only reason I think I had friends in school is because your parents and most people's parents spent money on cool clothes and shoes for you guys, and
Which
then
makes no sense.
I know, and my parents would only spend money on everybody in the family. So we always took vacations and stuff, but
So
we
you
had
have
a pool.
memories.
yeah.
That's why I can't remember anything
Wow.
right now.
I mean, some of our vacations were fun for my parents, but we did take a cruise once.
Yeah, I used
To the
always
Bahamas.
take cruises.
Yeah, we took one when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Then we took the big red boat, the Disney cruise.
No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah. But
Do you remember sleeping under my bed?
no.
You don't remember that?
What, did you make me sleep under there by myself, or did we both sleep under there?
No, it was so high off the ground. We made a pallet under my
Oh,
bed.
yeah. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
And the bed skirt came down to the
yes.
floor.
So the bed skirt was
Yeah.
kind of like our
Tent.
tent. I remember you having a big closet with so many
Yeah.
shoes. And I was like, look at Ryan. It's does she still have a big closet with so many shoes?
She still has so many shoes.
She
You
probably
made me get rid of all of my shoe boxes.
Oh no, but that's how you keep them in order, and that's how you know which ones they are.
Yes, exactly. And that's how you keep them from getting all scuffed up.
Scuffed up. I also will write what they are on the outside, because sometimes they don't have a picture.
Yeah.
Well, some shoes come with bags. Anyway, I don't know why that's a big deal, but she always had a ton of shoes. When you met her, you had to have known she was a shoe person.
Not when I met her.
No? Or she just had one pair of shoes and a
Shortly
hobo sack?
thereafter, I figured it out.
Shortly, you figured it out?
Shortly thereafter, I figured it out. Yeah.
Because you went to her apartment? She let you inside?
Exactly.
I don't remember the exact
It was
moment.
nothing that was ever hidden. When
But
we
it-
met, 3 closets were full of shoes.
You probably just hit. You were like, oh, that's where the vacuum is.
Those are all just empty shoe boxes. I just haven't cleaned
Nothing
them
to
out
see
yet.
in there.
Yeah, I haven't cleaned out those boxes yet.
But I remember when I met you, everybody was like, oh, Jennifer, we had, she never wears the same thing twice.
I don't
she's just
remember that.
And I was like, what? I remember this. I know, your kids are yelling in the background. What are they saying? Someone's murdering me. Somebody needs to wipe Graham's bum. Why?
Because he don't poop.
Why does somebody need to wipe it? Why can't he wipe it?
Graham!
Let's
go.
Because you're not a grown-up? Oh, wait, is this happening a lot? I'll cut this part out.
But every time he goes poop.
I'll cut this part out. But I remember, Van Spence one time, was I came to school on Monday, and he goes, "Didn't you wear that on Friday?" And I was like, "What?" It was like this purple air suit that I have. Remember air suits?
Yes, I remember those.
And
Oh my
like
gosh.
girls had the head ones, and I was like, could never afford those. So mine were always like knockoff ones. I had a teal one that had purple and pink on the
Yeah, I remember
jacket. And then I had a plain, just all purple one. And I wore the all purple one on Monday. And he was like, he was like, "Didn't you wear that on Friday?" I was like, what? Like, why is that a big deal? And that's when I realized that clothes were a big deal. What are you guys doing?
Well, it's funny, moving back here from Boston, it's like cars are a big deal because I drive a beat up car because that's what you drive in Boston because you don't put money into your car because it gets eaten away with salt. And so driving down here, I'm like the junky car. And everybody else has this like super nice car but lives in trailers.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was the other thing that I couldn't figure out in middle school and high school. It's like, where do they have the money to buy a BMW? Like, they live in like a crummy house. But then I realized, like, oh, that was their grandparents' house, and their parents moved into that house, and they don't have a mortgage payment. So they, of course, have money to buy you whatever you want and spoil you. And I was like, we never had that. We always had nothing. And when I was in middle school, my dad bought the Pepperidge Farm business.
Yeah.
Before that, we were really wealthy. Not wealthy, but my dad was gone Sunday through Thursday. And then he bought the Pepperidge Farm business, and then we went into debt. And then we didn't have any. My mom would like make our clothes again until we paid off the business. Of course, that was right. When I needed cool clothes. And then
But
by
see,
the time
it was so cool coming over to your house.
Why? Because we had all the videos.
Well, it was just fun. It was just so fun because you had like the rec room and your parents were cool. And I don't know.
That rec room was pretty fun. That was where my dad's bar was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
And we used to always make, the one thing I remember, oh my gosh, I almost made this for dinner for you tonight, was cheese quesadillas.
Taco night was Friday night. Every Friday at my house was taco night. And my mom, everybody loved my mom's tacos.
She demands taco night all the time. And I like tacos, they're fine, but they're not like amazing, you know?
Well, depends on how you make
Well,
them.
that's right, but I've never made amazing tacos.
You've never
and I
had
like
Sue
to cook.
Haynes' tacos.
Right. Well, my mom, the only thing that my mom did really was take the tortillas and fry them into a taco shell. And then she would take the tortillas and cut them up into chips and fry them. So I was like, these are great. And I was like, we just fried them instead of buying the Ortega shells or whatever.
Yeah.
But when we moved here from California, that was like the one thing that my mom always missed was Mexican food. Because we grew up with Mexicans.
You can't get good Mexican food in California. I mean, maybe like one or two.
In California?
In California you can, I guess.
That's where we get, we're the OG Mexican food spot. California and Texas. We get everybody straight from the border.
I guess.
That's why I don't like taking
You
cruises.
can't get it in Boston.
No, I remember one time when we were little, we thought we were going to go to a Mexican restaurant, and they gave us salsa, and it was spaghetti sauce. And I was like, that's disgusting. Yeah, it was so gross. But so when we got a Taco Bell in Calhoun, my mom like freaked out. Did we ever go to like, what else
Oh my
do you
gosh,
remember?
I just had a memory.
Oh, you did?
We were in 8th grade.
Okay.
My mom took us to Los Reyes.
Los
in the
Reyes.
Ingles shopping center.
Oh, in the English?
And it was, we couldn't drive, and we decided that it was going to be our birthday, and we were going to tell them we were twins.
Oh, yeah.
And they brought us sopapillas. Do you remember that? Oh.
And we thought we were like, it was like bringing down the house.
Yes.
Like we just took Vegas for all
And
it
my
was
mom
worth.
didn't care. She's like, sure, I don't care what I
Your mom was always so cool and sweet and laid back. Whereas like I was like, your mom was so sweet and nice, where I was always worried that my mom was gonna like hit the both of us. I was like, my mom might hit me and my friends if she gets mad at us. Because I mean, my sister and I drove my mom crazy.
I don't know what that's.
Yeah, but your mom was always so nice.
No, I mean, I have 3 boys, so I don't know what this is.
Yeah, you have 3 boys. That was fun at Los Reyes.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember the night that me and you and Merritt drove to Atlanta?
Tell me more.
we went to go. I got the Alanis Morissette CD, and we memorized that song.
Yes.
Jagged Little Pill.
And we memorized it all the way to Town Center, and I needed to go to the Nike store in downtown. So we were like, why don't we just drive there? And so we did. And I mean, we didn't come back till like midnight or 1 a.m. And I didn't have a curfew because my parents just trusted me to make good decisions. And like the next day they were like, you cannot do that ever again.
I remember when we left in your little blue car,
At Oldsmobile Cutlass.
and we drove to Phipps Plaza or Lenox. I'm not sure which one. We thought we were so cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were gonna smoke cigarettes on the way down. We did, and we were going to the Nike outlet then. What is it with you and Nike?
No, it was Nike Town.
Oh yeah,
That's what it
right.
was, because
Yeah.
I worked at the Nike outlet.
Yeah.
But if you returned shoes at Nike Town, they would give you like a new and improved pair. And I had these pair of Air Max that weren't like the air was starting to leak out. So and Nike still to this day has a 100% guarantee. So like if the air wears out, you can get a new pair. And so we went there to do that.
I remember that. We thought we were so
And my
cool.
dad was so mad at me that he was like, where'd you go? And then they found out I drove all the way to Atlanta, and then they got really upset and worried. Like, well, I'm fine. I'm here. I remember one time we all stayed over the night at Merritt's house for, I think it was her birthday, and we were making peanut butter cookies. And we just kept adding brown sugar to help with the fat. Because we were like, we'll just put less butter because that's fattening, but we'll put more sugar because that's just, there's no fat in sugar. So we were like,
Oh my God.
making like bad decisions pretty much.
I remember we used to go over there and watch horror movies.
At Merritt's?
Yeah, do you remember that?
I don't like scary movies, but I remember Merritt's house was always kind of scary because it was in the middle of the woods. It was like so far. We were like, there's probably murderers in here if there's going to be a murderer. I don't know. That was also. Did you play sports? You played sports, right? You played
Yeah.
softball and basketball.
And I ran.
Yes, that's right. Cross country.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you always ran cross country with Andy Southgate,
Yes.
who I see in Florida sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah. And I saw him when I was watching the Clemson game one time. They
At the game?
I wasn't at the game. I was watching the football game on TV, and they cut to the crowd when Clemson when they there was an interception against Clemson, and they cut to the crowd of like how disappointed they were. And it was just Andy just like standing there with his hands on his
No
head.
kidding.
Yeah, I sent him the picture of it.
Wow.
Yeah. You ran track country. Who did you date in high school?
No one.
You're such a liar.
No one.
I dated everyone. I got so bored with everyone. And then Brent was my boyfriend my senior year. That's who I went to prom with.
Yeah.
We all went to prom, right? Because Eric
Yes.
G and me and you and Merritt. Susan Bonds. Who else went to prom with us? We all met at that steakhouse or something.
The Sundial?
No, we went to a place in Chattanooga, I think.
Oh, we went to the Sundial.
No, the Sundial's in Atlanta.
I know.
Oh, you went to the Sundial. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really remember that much about high school.
I remember you were the first person to come out with Mary Jane's.
Mary Jane's?
Weren't they Mary Jane's then?
The shoes?
Yeah.
Was that the ones that with the buckle?
Yeah, those and then also the platforms.
Well, that was because, everybody that I worked with at the Nike outlet went to a different school, or they were like way older than me.
Yeah.
Also, me and Jenna, you worked at the Bass outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, her kids are just, your kids are running around with paper towels, screaming at
wild.
each other. Three boys. So you worked at the Bass outlet, and I would steal every single thing I could from the Nike outlet. Do you remember that? I would put like all of the workout clothes underneath my uniform.
I still have some Nike stuff from you. I think.
I would also get it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would get it
It's
for
from
you
here.
and bring it to you. Yeah, and then like Kelly Roberts, I think, worked there, and some other guy, and they got in trouble because they found them doing something else. I don't know. But yeah, that was where I never even had alcohol in high school until I started working at the Nike outlet. And then Jill Grove and like some of the other girls from the Nike outlet, they would all go, and I was like, all right, screw it. I'm not doing America's Pride anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everybody thinking I'm so good. Because I'm not.
Oh, God.
And then that year we would go to the football game. I would go to the football games with Eric Emmett and Chris Silvers and Sandy Lawn every Friday. And we would come back to my house and watch Pulp Fiction after the game every single Friday. And they would bring cigars. And then Chris Silvers he worked at Piggly Wiggly, and he would just bring us stuff from Piggly Wiggly every day.
I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, you should bring it up. He would open up his trunk, and it would be a ton of shit that he stole. It'd be like
Nicole
cartons
work
of
with him?
cigarettes, and like, he would bring us sausage biscuits in the morning from there.
Oh, my gosh.
They're sitting under a chair screaming.
Oh, my gosh.
Is this what your life is like every night?
Haven't you noticed that throughout dinner?
No, I just thought maybe they were acting out because there was a guest here.
No.
This is
Well,
just
a
what
little bit
happens.
they are. I mean, it's way past their bedtime, number one.
Yeah, I know.
And
But their
it's
bedtime's only
8
because
o'clock.
we make it that.
Yeah, but, I mean, they also fell asleep today when I drove to town.
You let them fall asleep?
I didn't let them. I got to town.
You acted like she fed the gremlins after midnight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He does that every time.
She did.
I got to
She
town.
did.
I pull in the parking space, and all three are asleep.
And you're like,
Oh, lo and behold, I can't believe I did that. Yeah.
So wild.
You get them tonight for bed. Look at them. Look at them.
Yeah, they're racing around. What are you doing, Graham?
Hey.
I don't know. That is so funny. What are the paper towels for, I wonder?
Can't wait.
Lord only knows.
But you can try.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Aww. Poor thing. I was the oldest, and I had to be the adult all the time.
It's tough being the oldest.
Sucks, yeah. Ugh, gotta
know.
take care of everybody.
But you're always,
I know, he says
you're
that
always
too. Why do I
criticized
have to
because,
do it?
like, parents don't realize that, like,
You depend on them so much.
right, they don't get it. You know?
Yeah.
And he's no different, and we're no different.
Oh my gosh, I remember spending the night with you, and we would like go to get ready and would, be working,
My
to get in the
green and
shower
yellow
or whatever.
bathroom.
And Joanna, why did she take my something? It was something always every time. My brush. Joanna took my brush.
Oh, Joanna always. I hated her when I was
Yes,
in high
you did.
school. I hated her so much.
Yeah.
Oh, Joanna.
Yeah, my
I
sister.
hated her.
I did. I love her so much now. As soon as I went to college, I missed her like crazy, and then she and I became really close. But she also had a boyfriend all through middle school and high school, and she made more money at her job than I did at the Nike outlet, and that made me mad.
Did she work in the Nike outlet too?
No, she worked at Hickory House because her boyfriend's family owned it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
My grandparents are buried right behind there.
Yeah.
Which is good because my grandma loved to eat, so she could just smell it. But I just had so many good memories of this house, and I just wanted to
Oh.
thank you for letting me come over here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting me see what it's like to have 3 boys.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
If you want to take them home, you can.
No, I'm gonna go take birth control. Okay, I'm in the car with my mom, and we're going to the grocery store as we've done
40 years.
for 40 years. I'm 39, Mom. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I've been going longer than you have.
Yeah, you've been going longer than me, but we used to go every Saturday morning,
Every Saturday.
and you always had a list. Do you have your list with you now?
I have my list with me now. It's in my purse. Never shop without it. Well, my rule is I shop once a week. If you don't write it down on the list, I probably won't remember to get it. And if I don't remember to get it, then it won't get bought until the next week, or you can go to the store yourself.
Yeah, we
I don't go to the store again after but once a week.
I know, you go every week, and like, do you have your coupons with you?
Of course.
Yeah. You always had your coupons, and we couldn't get specific cereal or whatever. You're like, I have a coupon for this brand.
Yes.
You can pick, like, I have a coupon for Cheerios, but only these specific types of Cheerios, so you can pick between those Cheerios.
I'd have post cereals. Or
Yeah.
and
And-
Mills. You could pick from that.
Do you remember when we used to write other things on the list that you couldn't
Yes.
get at the grocery store?
You still do, because Joanna will come by the house and she'll put something on the list like new car.
Yeah, it'd be like a toy train. I would like trampoline. Would love to write stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to make you giggle when you're at the grocery store all alone now, because now we make you go by yourself.
And nobody wants to go with me anymore.
Yeah.
Dad will go with me, once or twice a year he'll go with me because he wants something specific, like for a holiday meal or something, and he wants to pick it out.
Or alcohol. Does he go there for?
we don't have alcohol at the grocery store. Beer and wine is all you can get.
Oh, right.
And mixers.
Is that the same? Because you're shopping in Tennessee right now, but
Right.
is it the same in Georgia still?
Yes.
Oh, you can only get beer and wine?
Beer and wine in the grocery store.
Can you get
No
it on
liquor.
Sunday?
Sunday you cannot buy any liquor at all.
That is so funny, because like now in California, I'm so used to like getting it at Walgreens or
Right.
CVS.
No, you have to go to a package store, an ABC store or something like that.
Right. And then
Liquor.
I remember when we were growing up, you used to let us push the cart sometimes, and then we would lose our privileges
When you ran up against somebody, you ran into somebody. It's typically me.
your heels.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you would stop short. It's like tourists at Disneyland, we think we're all just like cruising down the aisle, and then you would stop, and then it would hit the back of your heel, and I'd be like, oh no, mom's gonna be so mad. You would be so
I'd
mad.
get so mad.
Yeah. Well, but then that was when we were younger, and then
Real
when we were
little, yeah.
older, and we still went with you.
Now, what would happen is you would get sidetracked. You'd see, all the colors, all the stuff in the aisle on your eye level, and you'd be thinking, oh, I have to have that. I wish Mom would buy that, and boom, run right into me.
Yeah, because we'd see dolls or like, ooh, straws with that
Right.
bend.
Sugar cereals and
Oh,
candy and cookies. And
They have so many new kinds of sugar cereals now.
Oh,
They
gosh.
completely blow our cereals from growing up out of the water.
And I don't eat cereal anymore, so I don't even. But Dad likes it. Dad just wants plain Cheerios, like the store brand, generic.
Oh, he likes generic Cheerios?
That's all.
Why does he like?
No sweet, no nothing. He just wants the generic.
Oh, because it doesn't have any sugar.
Right.
Which is like why he's always telling me that alcohol doesn't have sugar. And I'm
Yeah.
like, Dad, alcohol has so much sugar. No, it doesn't. No, not schnapps.
If it's-
Dad,
Yeah, he says if it's
Clear.
in a certain alcohol content,
then it takes away the...
evidently it's not supposed to have sugar.
It-
I don't know. I've never read the label, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't either.
No,
Probably getting this from somebody probably told him.
no, he's just thinking it in his brain.
Could
He
be.
just comes up with it on his own. He's not reading that anywhere because that doesn't exist anywhere where it would say that
He
alcohol.
could Google it. He knows how to Google.
Yeah, he'll ask me to like text Google. Once you text the internet and find out for me stuff, but I don't think I'm sure he'll say he read it somewhere. The only place he would read it would be the newspaper.
And he only gets that on Sundays. So.
Yeah, so I don't think I trust his reasoning.
Yeah.
I mean, it would definitely be way more fun to trust his reasoning. So what do we have to get at the grocery store today?
Oh, well, I have to stop because I need some things for dinner tonight, and typically I shop on Friday anyway.
Oh, well, Friday. Is it taco night?
It's taco night.
Friday was always taco night growing up.
Always has been since the day we were married. 45 years.
45 years. Well, didn't it used to be Hamburger Helper? Was that taco? Or was it always taco even when you were first married?
Well, tacos were something I always knew how to cook. Hamburger Helper was just because I didn't know how to cook anything else.
I know, so Daddy won't eat Hamburger Helper anymore.
No.
Even though Hamburger Helper has come a long way as well.
And they've got a lot more variety now than, back then when we were first married.
And this was like the 40s you're talking.
Yeah, the Stone Age. We couldn't even get, they didn't have chicken help. Now they got chicken helper.
Oh, yeah,
tuna
salad helper.
They've got everything.
Yeah, helper.
Yeah, helper.
Yeah.
But
all right.
No, it's, we didn't have the variety that there is now. But because of that, we were eating the same flavors over and over and over and over and over and over.
So that's why he's like, oh, I don't want to taste that. It's like the hummus yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You got black bean hummus, and then I was like, why did you tell him it was hummus? I don't like hummus. I'm like, just say it's black bean dip, and he'll like that.
And he did like it.
And he did like it.
Yeah.
I put it on a cracker, and I forced it in his mouth.
Yeah, but he did.
My whole life, he's like, you got to try it. You got to at least try it. And then he doesn't do that now.
He's the one that says.
Oh, whoops.
Sorry.
He's the one that says.
He's the one that says you should try more things.
Try it at least once, and then if you don't like it, okay. And he will
I'm not going to eat sushi.
I'm not going to eat. I know I don't like it. And then in New Orleans, I gave him a piece of it, and he didn't even know, and he loved it.
Yeah.
See?
That's how he is.
Yeah, I know. All right, back. We're going to be in the store in a second. I'll come back. Okay, now I'm in the grocery store, and my mom is a maniac. She is going. She's so quick now because she has her coupons laid out. We just got Sargento cheese. We got a third one because the coupon was for 3. And now she's sending me down to the ice cream aisle to look for the Mayfield ice cream that I love. And I just keep throwing extra things in her cart. This is fun. Hey, Mom is just explaining to me what tin roof ice cream is. What is it again?
It's vanilla ice cream with hot fudge sauce, and then it's topped with Spanish peanuts.
Oh, why is it called tin roof?
Because the Spanish peanuts have the little red shells on them. So I think when you've got a sprinkling of that on top of your ice cream, it kind of looks like a rusty tin roof.
Oh, rusted. Tin roof, rusted. It's like Love Shack.
Oh.
So what?
Yeah, something like that.
You guys used to get that on Sundays?
When we'd go to the ice cream parlor.
When did you go to the ice cream parlor?
When we were dating, there was an ice cream parlor in town, and it's called Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor.
Farrell.
Back in the day, yeah. It was Farrell's, and that was their deal, is they would make these great, all kinds of great sundaes. Their big sundae was the pig trough.
The pig trough.
Pig trough, and it had 20 scoops of ice cream. It had a whole bunch of ice cream in it. It was served in a great big
tin, like a metal.
It looked like a pig trough. It was a metal.
Oh my God.
And the deal was, if you ate it by yourself in however much time,
it was free.
Yeah, you win the prize.
It wasn't free. You win a prize.
And maybe it was free. That's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was their big deal. But everybody in town would go to Farrell's for ice cream.
Farrell's for ice cream. That's what you gotta do. Let me help you load all this stuff up. Now we have chocolate chip ice cream, which Mayfield apparently is not making anymore.
Well, Publix doesn't carry it. They make it.
You think Mayfield makes it? They just don't carry it?
That happens a lot.
Oh, okay. So I should take it up with Publix.
Exactly.
Well, I will take it up at Publix.
And not the cash register. They have nothing to do with it.
Don't take it up with the people at the cash register? Don't say anything?
No, I'm just saying, don't take it out on them. They're just
Why not?
They're the messenger.
Well, they could give a message to Mayfield, maybe, or managers. They know that. No, I'm not gonna. I won't embarrass you at the grocery store.
I'm not worried about being embarrassed. I'm worrying about ruining somebody's Christmas. They don't need an angry customer.
Like I'm really that angry about chocolate chip ice cream.
I know how irate you are right now.
I do not.
You're so mad.
Well, I'm mad at you for not calling ahead and telling them that that's what I wanted. You should know me better.
I have gotten it here before too. That's why I know they're just not carrying it right now.
The eggnog custard took care of it.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? I'm okay, I guess. I wanted the Mayfield chocolate chip ice cream, but they don't have it today. They replaced it with the custard. It's not your fault. It's the universe's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
Management tells me I need to say sorry. So.
Oh, management tells you need to say sorry? Oh, but you're just saying it because
He wants you to be quiet.
he wants me to be quiet.
Leave him alone. He wants to do his job. Right? Just tell her the truth. It's okay.
I'll be okay.
You'll make it.
Live to work another day.
You'll live to work another day. Well, but your coupons, we gotta see how much it is after the coupons. Is that after your special Publix card too, or do they have?
Take your card out.
You don't have a membership? Oh.
No, but the card I use, a percentage of what I buy goes to B's school.
Oh. Well, that's important. All right, so we saved $3. Actually, 17. It says.
Well, there's your Christmas.
Thank y'all very much. Merry Christmas to you. I have to record this conversation at dinner. This disgusting mice and rat conversation that we're having at my
Well, dinner's done.
dinner table. Wait, sorry. You're saying Mooshi what?
When she would stare at furniture.
Oh, the cat?
Yeah.
Would stare at furniture.
When she would stare and not move, we knew that there had to be a mouse.
Not
in
furniture.
there.
She'd stare into the pantry.
She'd stare into the pantry.
She'd sit there and stare into the pantry, and then you're like, all right, well, can't eat the cereal because there's probably one in there.
Cats,
Harley was the same way.
cats
Look at
I think
her.
all cats
cats
are
have
that way.
extremely good hearing.
No.
They can hear
I don't know that
everything.
Brisbane would even care if there was a
That's
mouse.
how we know. Jasper does the same thing. That's how we know it's usually a moth or it's a ladybug or something. But
Oh,
I'll never
yeah.
forget the time we had the cockroach in our house. It was in your bathroom.
Beatrice's
And the only reason I know there was something in there is because I watched Harley go.
Just watch her eyes go.
No joke, and I went, oh my god, it's on the ceiling.
What is she looking at?
It's on the ceiling.
Were you home alone too? Tim?
Of course I was home.
Yeah,
alone.
Tim's at work.
It never happens when
Unfortunately.
Tim's home.
If you read the read the novel by Stephen King, Sleeping Beauties,
Oh dear.
Is that what that's about?
it involves moths.
Moths?
Gross. Okay.
Okay. Well,
So-
you're going to have to
And-
elaborate.
Of course, right now, halfway through the story, nobody knows that
They're demon moths.
Oh, you're in the middle of the story. You're
Yeah.
reading it.
Oh, you
like
don't know.
ladies, all these ladies, all the females in the world, in the prison about the story and all, are starting to get, when they fall asleep, they don't wake up. They get these cocoons around them. But right now, nobody's connected the fact that moths come out of their mouths and everything like this. So they're trying. All these women are falling asleep.
No.
In his novel, all of them are falling asleep. I mean, if you try to wake them up, like pull the
Please,
stuff out
please
of their.
don't. Please don't.
Right, because you want to read it?
No, because I don't want to hear about moth crawling mouths.
While you're eating.
That's chicken.
Well, any time of the day.
Yeah, that's not something you want to ever
Okay,
hear.
I won't do it. But
You're
I'm
reading
on,
this book right now?
Sleeping Beauties, Stephen King.
That sounds like Silence of the Lambs type of stuff.
Oh yeah, with the moth coming
The
out.
moth.
Well, and I'm only halfway through because
Put the lotion in the basket.
my brother's pretty much further, and he said it gets a lot better. It's been a little bit slow, but yeah. Only Stephen King to write about females falling asleep. When they do, all this.
Then Bill Cosby comes in.
They're in
Harvey Weinstein.
like this cocoon forms around them. They can't wake up. But if you try to wake them up and tear the cocoon off, they get very violent.
Of course, it's a female. Of course,
Pod people.
we are the ones that get violent.
We are
So
if
what I
you
think-
wake me from my sleep.
You know what the good thing is?
Yeah, you don't even.
You know what the good thing
The
is?
cocoon's forming around my mouth. Let me sleep.
You know what the good thing is?
What?
The women are all going to sleep with cocoons and they don't wake up. And the men control the whole freaking world.
Like they do now.
Sure,
Why
Daddy.
is that a good thing?
Yeah. Get out of
Well,
here.
because, we don't have to answer women.
You would die.
What would you do if you had a world with no women in it? Who
You would
do
have
your laundry?
you would starve. You would starve.
I don't care if I do my laundry or not. I wear my crap every day of the week.
You wouldn't even know how to make your own sandwich.
Bullshit, I
You wouldn't have fajitas like this.
will. Bullshit, I just eat rice.
Just eat rice.
I make Campbell's soup.
I'd eat the rice. What would your daddy not do without me and you? What'd be the hardest thing for him to do if he didn't have me and you?
Everything.
Name one. Think of something that you and I always do for him.
Laundry. Let's see. Making the bed.
Nah. Boom.
Making the bed.
He never makes the bed.
No, that's not. He does make it. When does he make it?
He doesn't make it in the morning. I tell on him. I tell you that right when we get home from school and you're telling him I'm almost home, he's like, oh, I gotta make the bed.
Didn't you when he heard me open the garage door?
He goes to make the bed?
He makes the bed.
So, what would it be like if men had to live without women all of a sudden, or women had to live without men?
Yeah.
The thing about the women living without men, that you could still have a population because all these guys, with all these sperm banks everywhere, women could still have children.
Yeah.
But
we don't need y'all.
if you have a
repopulate.
world without women, then the population would
procreate?
dwindle and be gone.
A world without men, my house would be so much cleaner.
Well, we're all
It'd
about
stay
men.
clean.
I need somebody to kill the spiders.
And the cockroaches.
Thank you.
That's why I married you.
She would need somebody to
and
eat
hang a shelf and
She
a
would need
cabinet.
somebody to eat the fajitas and tacos and.
I don't want to make enough for myself. Why would I need somebody?
I need somebody to run to the store when I don't want to.
She wouldn't have to worry about wouldn't have to worry about a ball bat under her bed.
That's a great.
Hey, I know how to use a Louisville Slugger.
Yeah, I know. You have that Mark McGuire slugger
Yeah, I
under the
don't
bed.
need a gun. I know how to use a Louisville
But that's-
Slugger.
That's like
That's
the
a new
$1 million.
novel, and I'm only halfway through because the other half of the story is going to be better.
I have
so.
that big block of wood that keeps up my window. Mm-hmm. Just touching it lightly on my head, I'm like, ow.
What? You
I have
touched
a big block that keeps my window up because my window won't
her
stay
window
up
won't
unless
stay up
something's
right
under it. But it's just this block of wood, and I'm just like, if there's an intruder, I'll sneak up on him with my ninja-ness.
Ninja-ness?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's a word I just made up.
Okay.
And then I
Ninja-ness?
Ninja-ness.
Ninja-ness.
Ninja-ness is like
That's a
is that
woman
like
ninja?
feminine type thing? Ninja-ness?
Ninja-ness.
A female ninja? Ninja?
Ninja?
Her ninja skills.
Listen
Do
at
you
it.
know how to be a ninja?
yes.
Grandpa's a ninja.
Grandpa T is going to make you a ninja. eventually.
Remember that movie we used to watch when we were kids? The Three Ninjas?
Three Ninjas. I feel like I remember that.
They were the kids. It was the three kids.
Yeah, in the woods. I feel like they
And they
trained
were
in the
ninjas.
woods. Is that what it was called? Three Ninjas?
It was called Three Ninjas. Yes.
Who were the kids? What was it? They just.
Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily. It was Rocky. You remember that?
God,
Emily was
no,
the
I
girl on
don't
the bicycle, and the bullies came up and they stole her bicycle one day, and so the three ninjas were going to get it back. There were three brothers, Rocky and Oh man,
Emily.
No,
Emily
Rocky
was the
loves
girl.
Emily, so.
I know.
That was the song they would sing.
Gosh,
together.
I remember. I don't remember that. I remember just us watching Drop Dead Fred. Like we like wore that videotape out growing up.
Drop Dead Fred.
We would watch that.
Cobwebs.
That's the best
Hocus
line.
Pocus.
I know. Hocus
That's
Pocus.
another favorite.
Trip Beverly Hills.
True Beverly
Beverly
Hills
Hills,
was
yeah.
She loves that one.
such a good one. What else did we watch on?
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Well, we would watch Hello Again with Shelley Long. We loved Shelley
He
Long.
permed me.
What was the one where the Dead Again or Dead?
Hello Again.
Was that Hello Again?
That's Shelley Long. Remember? She's like, hello again. And she comes back from the dead and her husband's remarried to Celia Ward.
No, there was one
It was
with
Corbin. Was
Bette
it?
Midler and Golden
Oh.
Big Business.
We used to watch Big Business,
Big
which was
Business.
That was like
that was
love
the
that
twins.
The twins.
Yeah, the twins.
That
They
was
got
like a
separated
witch
at
thing,
birth.
Separated
like
at
a
birth.
polka.
What about the one where she takes the shotgun and there's a
Beaches?
big hole.
Thinking of Beaches?
And
what
then-
was that?
I don't know.
That's the one I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was
Dead
Dead.
She-Devil.
No,
She Devil we watched with Roseanne.
Yes.
That's it. They die and then it's like she comes back. She gets
When Death Becomes Me.
Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes
Yes,
Her.
I love that movie.
When Death
job.
Becomes Me. Good job.
B.
And Death Becomes
My
Her.
Tang introduced me to that.
We gotta what's these young kids and their memories.
I love that Beatrice
I mean,
likes movies
I
that we
remember
like.
I remember
Oh, my
the things that don't matter, but I can't remember like to turn in this important paper to my teacher.
Yes, we
Do we have that on record?
We do have that on
We have that on
record.
record, so I
It's
can
on the-
replay that come February. When she's wondering why she doesn't get what she wants.
We're gonna have to write a song called "I Forget Everywhere."
I forget everything.
all the time.
All the time, everywhere.
Everything all the time.
Hello.
I was trying to ask Beatrice what her favorite movie was, and she was like, "Oh, there's so many."
Yeah,
But I would
we love
just.
How
movies.
couldn't there be so many? You're just a little kid.
There's so many we like.
Do you have a favorite movie, Daddy?
Gone with the Wind.
Oh, really? That's your favorite movie?
One of my favorites.
Oh, that's not scary at all. I mean, a little bit.
I didn't say it had to be scary.
Well, you like
I
scary
can't wait
stuff.
to read that book that you got me, the horror stories book.
The ghost, the whole, yeah. Uh-huh. I can't wait for you to read that all by yourself without telling me any of the stories, because I do not want to hear them.
In my room, in the dark, alone,
There you go.
But when
With a
you ask,
flashlight.
when you
with the rats crawling in the
when you
walls,
when you ask favorite stories,
and then Wilbur
favorite movies,
slithering around.
you have to kind of divide them out, like
What favorite?
comic or action or war, and stuff
Do you
like
have a
that.
favorite comedy movie besides Gone with the Wind? Because it was super funny, that movie.
Comedy movie. I'm trying to think. I have a lot of favorite.
I mean,
comedy
you were
movies.
laughing pretty hard at Christmas Vacation last night.
Yeah,
That's a Christmas movie, though.
yeah.
They were talking. In
gotta
fact,
do
we were
different
But the-
listening, listening to Rich's show today.
They were talking about Die Hard.
Die Hard. Is that a Christmas
Oh, I saw
movie or
Adam
not?
Ray was on there
Yeah.
today.
But they said it's Die Hard a Christmas
Favorite
movie.
war movies would be
I would consider that a Christmas
Like-
movie.
Would you? See,
We Were
I consider it
Soldiers.
An action movie.
My favorite
that
war
happens
movie
to take
is
or
place
Saving Private Ryan.
Braveheart, which is not like an American war movie, but it's a war movie because it involved fights in
Scotland.
Europe.
Well,
Braveheart was one of my favorite.
Favorite war movies that were
And
good?
We
My
Were
favorite
Soldiers.
action movie
Patriot. Oh my God.
is Wonder Woman. The new Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, that's a
Just
good
kidding.
one.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that
But
one
she
yet.
doesn't
You're telling
exist.
me
She's fake. She's fake.
She's real
Like
She could
and
be.
We Were Soldiers. That was a true.
because you don't know her.
That general was Moore was a
What
true
was
guy.
the one we
well,
watched?
sir, women go to sleep as cocoons is fake.
No, what was the one with the kid that kept climbing up the rope and saving the people one at a time?
Oh, Hard Ridge.
Spider-Man?
No,
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
That was
really
such
That
a
was
good
very
movie.
good.
That
That
was
was very
great.
I saw that on the plane.
You see his hands all raw from climbing
No,
that rope.
that was Hacksaw Ridge. It wasn't. It
Or
wasn't
lowing
Saving
those guys
Private Ryan.
down. Hacksaw Ridge.
Saving
Watch that
Private
one.
Ryan
I
was
love
a,
that
You and
one.
Daddy watched
Private
that.
Ryan
That
was a
good.
great one. That was a true story. I like the true stories.
Hacksaw
Saving
Ridge is
Private
true, too.
Ryan,
Based on a true
Hacksaw Ridge, Braveheart was actually a true story.
Oh yeah.
Based on a true story.
Based
Well,
on the
I was
truth.
talking to my friend Bennett about that once because we were talking about the word fuck, right? And how the origin of it is fornicate under the command of the king. And I was telling him that, and he goes, "Oh, like Braveheart." And I go, No, this means that the king can have sex with your wife before you." And he said, "Yeah, like Braveheart." And I go,
All right,
"No."
I'm out.
Sorry. My Beatrice. I was like,
I got rid of the kid.
I was like, "No, Braveheart's about Scotland." And he goes, "That's why they were fighting." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
exactly.
I totally forgot that's why
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen so many movies once that I forget like what they're
yeah.
completely really about. I remember parts of it.
Well, back in those days, I mean, they thought they could do everything they wanted to do. You know, I mean,
Well, yeah, they're
they
just
violated women all the time.
Yeah.
Well, the king ruled all, so that was the law he made. He could make any law he wanted.
yeah,
Well, it was a lot about bloodline. That was extremely important back then.
yeah.
How you passed your bloodline down. If a king couldn't have a child, a male child, he was not very happy.
Which is
Happy.
why he was going after all these women.
He had to have a male child.
What's your favorite movie, Mom?
My favorite movie of all time is North to Alaska.
North to Alaska.
John Wayne.
It's a John Wayne
It's
movie.
an old one too. That's an oldie. Because she's an oldie but a goodie.
Is that your Braveheart voice?
It had Fabian in it, and Stuart Granger, and
John Wayne.
and Capuchin.
Man, I don't even know what's it about.
It's about the Alaska Gold Rush.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
you gotta
John
watch
Wayne.
it. It's as good as The Man Who Shot Liberty Balance. with
John Wayne
Well,
and
I
his,
haven't seen that
his
either.
partner. They have a gold mine, and they hit gold.
The people are trying to claim
So
it.
his partner had a woman back in the States that he said he would come and get her
Fell in love with her, yeah.
once he hit gold, and she was French.
Ah, oui.
So
Oh my God. She was a favorite. She was a good actress.
So when they hit gold, he says, "I can't go get her. You go get her, John. I'll protect the
gold mine."
The gold mine." So John Wayne takes the boat, goes down to find her. When he finds her, she's living in this big fancy house, which is what he was told. But it turns out she's the maid there.
Oh.
And she's remarried because she didn't wait anymore for this guy.
Oh no.
He brings a letter and says, that, they hit gold, we're ready to go. I've got, John Wayne went shopping, got all the clothes and stuff, fancy stuff for her. And it turns out she's already married. So John Wayne goes, well, okay, now what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And he goes back into town and he goes to this brothel and finds
Daddy.
finds a woman there that has a French accent.
Oh.
And he says, "Wow, you'll do. I'll bring you back, and that should do the trick. It'll help mend this guy's broken heart." Mm-hmm. So he does. He packs her up. Well, she's falling in love with John Wayne. He's just bringing her back for his buddy, and they get back to the gold mine, and
It's a classic movie. Classic.
yeah,
Remy.
It's and they have to sort all that out. So, but it all takes place around the.
Then they have
Gold
claim
rush.
jumpers come in and try to get the claim.
Claim jumpers.
They fight and they
There's
battle.
a lumberjack festival, lumberjack camp. His buddies turn out to be lumberjack. I mean, it's
Sounds like
far-fetched.
everything I've ever wanted in a movie.
Yeah.
A really great movie that I always liked was Cool Hand Luke. I liked all
yeah.
Paul. It was
Paul
not a
Newman.
movie Paul Newman made that I did not like.
Is that the one where he ate all the eggs?
Yeah, in the prison.
Oh, yeah,
prison.
that one. I always think of his stomach just bulging out.
Yeah.
Remember,
That was the bet.
I remember him.
And that was true. He ate all those eggs. That was real. He ate those
No,
eggs.
he didn't really eat those
He
eggs.
ate all those eggs in that movie.
The actor actually ate all the.
Paul
he did
Newman.
not actually.
He did. That's why his stomach got so big. He ate. You research it. He
Okay.
ate all the eggs
Research.
in that movie to make sure that was real.
does that mean that
Paul
Matt
Newman
Damon
didn't
ate
do
all the
anything that wasn't
potatoes
very
in
real. That's the way he made his movies. It was very good.
Well, I'll look that up. I mean,
Somebody up there likes me, like the boxer when he was the boxer.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
That was.
I just
Cool
I
Hand
liked
Luke.
Color Money, and I loved Slapshot,
Oh.
the hockey movie.
The Hustler.
The Hustler.
With
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason.
Is that the one where Jackie Gleason has diabetes and
That was the prequel to Color of Money.
Oh.
He was a pool player, and Jackie Gleason was the master. And Willie Moscone actually had a part in the movie who was the best pool player in the world at the time. So he was in there when they were sitting the racks on the table and playing pool,
doing trick shots.
Yeah, but Paul he was a heavy drinker, so he started playing pool, and when he started drinking, he would bet and win, and he would start losing because of his drinking. But at the end, it's a very just a great movie. I mean, I can't say any more about it.
Paul Newman.
Jackie Gleason he won an Academy Award for that.
For the Hustler.
The Color of Money. The Hustler. Paul Newman wasn't in The Hustler.
Paul Newman played the main character in The Hustler.
No, that was The Color of Money, I thought.
Color of Money. He also played. That was the sequel.
That was with Tom Cruise, right?
Oh, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise was the young
He was training.
He was
Color
training.
of Money.
Yeah.
The Hustler with Paul Newman was like a classic.
That was Paul Newman against Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, where they broke his fingers. He went into a bar and he started playing pool, and he was a hustler. So what he did was like con people into playing, thinking he was bad. So he would have a few bad games.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, I can't even make that ball. I mean, so he'd suck people in.
Right, and then they gamble more,
and then put more money. Then he ran the table.
Yeah.
In one scene, they got him over this. You're a hustler. They took him over there and he broke his fingers on the side of the table. And, so
that's just like that. Broken finger. It's like that. What was that? Not American Psycho. It was like that one where they cracked that guy's teeth over the sidewalk.
I was thinking of Kathy Bates when she broke James Caan's ankle.
Oh yeah, that was
Misery.
American History X.
Oh yeah.
Misery, they broke his knees.
No, his feet.
Ankles.
His ankles.
Put the board between his ankles and
broke
that brick.
James
She
Caan.
put a cinder block, but right there, right? Why are we talking about this at dinner? It's so painful.
Hey, believe me, the classics. Somebody up there likes me about Jake LaMotta and the Hustler, Paul Newman.
Did you just?
You just can't match those.
Do you remember Inga lived across the street from Paul Newman? He might still live there.
I didn't know she did.
Paul Newman
Paul Newman.
He died, and his wife a long time ago.
Well, he wasn't living in California then.
Yeah, he lived across the street from her up at.
Maybe at one time.
Oh yeah, for a while when her husband was alive.
Yeah.
Our Aunt Inga.
Remember, he met her in a classic movie called The Long Hot Summer.
That's where he met his wife.
She loves saying
Burl Ives was in that.
Yeah.
Wait, who was his wife?
Joanne Woodward.
Joanne Woodward. They just sold his Rolex. Did you see that?
Yeah,
For like the most it's ever a Rolex has ever sold, like something like the
it was
$1.3 million or something.
An $1,800 watch when it was originally bought.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Even
Never
if you
really.
buy it today, I guess it was $1,800.
When he quit making a lot of films and he got in his old age, he came out with the food line, Newman's Own.
Oh yeah.
Paul Newman.
And
he
he
was big on the healthy ingredient stuff. That he was one of the first people really came out with trying to make things that were healthy for you.
Yeah.
And all the Newman's Own things, like low calorie, and all these
natural,
things.
No preservatives.
Natural, low
But
calorie.
he donated
and
his proceeds.
I put the first bottle on our shelf in the grocery store
Oh yeah.
for Paul Newman's Own in California when I worked in the grocery store business, grocery business, in like 77, 78.
That's how long that brand has been around.
Yes.
At least that long.
No way.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Remington.
It started out with just one thing.
It just started out with salad dressing.
Just salad dressing.
Strictly salad dressing at the beginning, because we get new items in the store, and we got this thing called Newman's Own. I said, and his picture was on it. I said, well, gee, that's Paul Newman. And they said, well, here's where you put it on the shelf. So you got to go through and realign everything, and put it on the shelf. Just one bottle, one item like French dressing or Italian dressing.
Yeah.
Then down the line, month after month, new stuff came out, cutting all over. Now Newman's Own has like spaghetti sauce. They have,
Yeah, no, I know.
Lots of
they have all kinds of stuff.
dog food.
And the good thing about his money, all the money he made was donated. He never took any of that money
All the
he made
profits.
from Newman's Own.
Where did it go?
I'm not quite sure,
charities. He had
but
a
all of
hole
his
in the-
charities.
I know
Tremendous
one
charities.
charity was this hole in the wall gang, children's charity.
I'm like, he just put all of his
that
money
was-
into a hole in the wall.
That was from Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
That's where the name came from.
Name came-
But it says right on the.
he created lots of
Oh, it
charities.
says what? Do you remember do you remember like how long did you work in grocery stores, Daddy? Like
I was in the store about 12 years inside the store in the grocery business, but then I
started
was
out-
outside the store in like the wholesale part of the business for like another 20 years.
That was the Pepperidge Farm.
I spent over 32 years in the grocery business.
yeah.
But-
So that was your first job in a grocery store,
Well, no,
Stocking
that was-
shelves.
stocking shelves,
I graduated from college and
In
I was
San
stocking
Jose.
shelves at 20 hours a week.
and that was at Alpha Beta,
Alpha Beta in California.
and then so you
Did
started.
you know why? In 75, there was no
Some
jobs.
of the socks, I think.
What do you mean there's no jobs?
There was no jobs for people in school coming out of college in 75. There was like
Why?
one.
Because of
There was
the
like
war?
100 people applying. It was very depressed then. The job market was very
Was that
depressed.
because as Vietnam was like?
I don't have any idea why it was so depressed. But there were people competing, like one job at Goodyear Rubber for a training manager at $10 an hour. There was 100 people competing for it. So I said, heck with this. I'll just go with a company that was growing and an up and coming company. And I said, I'm not too proud to stock shelves.
Heck no.
So I stocked shelves, got on my knees, and I learned the business, and they hired me on as after apprenticeship, and I moved up to the management in 8 years. I was a store manager.
Oh, in 8 years.
8 years it took me.
And
Yeah.
so when we moved to Georgia,
I left my grocery company because we wanted to move, and Mom's company was going to provide the move to Georgia.
right, paid for the move.
And so what happened? I said we were trying to get to Oregon and Washington, and at one time we bought property in Northern California, outside of Sacramento in Auburn. We were going to build a house there
Oh, really?
between Sacramento and Reno.
Okay.
We actually bought land there, put a down payment, but we weren't able to do it because my grocery company didn't give me the transfer.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted a transfer, but my district manager did not want to let me go because I was too important to him in the jobs in all of his stores. He moved me. I went in 10 stores in 12 years,
Oh wow.
and I had to straighten all the stores out. They were all in bad shape. But yeah, we bought it like 2 acres in Auburn,
Man.
How different
California.
would our life have been
God.
had we grown up in
and we would have been like coming out of Sacramento in the
I can't
foothills.
imagine anything named
In the
Auburn right
foothills?
now.
No,
Foothills
definitely not.
on 80, going to Reno, 3,000 feet up. We bought a nice 2-acre piece of land.
Jeez, 2 acres.
And I could have driven to Sacramento and worked for a store there. Or we had stores there. But we bought the land thinking there should be no problem transferring.
Right.
He cut my transfer. He wouldn't approve it.
Oh man.
And that's when we actually said, oh my God. We sold our house on Coverlight Lane in Livermore because he denied my transfer. And I said, oh my God. Sold our house. So we rented an apartment for like 1 or 2 months, and then we bought the house at Evelyn Way with the pool,
Oh,
where she was born.
where Joanna was
Well,
born.
you actually were born before
Where
that,
Joanna
right?
almost died.
Yeah, well, she almost drowned.
Where she almost drowned.
Almost drowned.
I mean,
I'm glad I taught you how to float on your back because
How different would your life have been without me?
Oh, man.
What would you have done?
So many more presents.
Mom had her operation and she wasn't doing good. And I said, make sure the screens are closed. But some way, Joanna got out that screen,
Because I'm a genius.
and Mom walked out. Mom walked out in the
I was
pool,
trying to tell y'all
and she's
early
floating
on.
on her back like this,
how old was Joanna?
Oh,
like
6 months.
6 months years old, 6
Six
months in a diaper, and she's floating on her back.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Mama couldn't jump
That's
in.
why
'cause
you
she had
like swimming.
stitches from
But
all down her tummy.
she pulled her out of the pool.
You did pull her out?
Yeah.
You got me to the
I went
edge.
in. No, I went in the pool
On the steps.
and I went under her
On the steps.
and lifted her. I didn't, lift her.
But
with
your
my
head was
stomach.
above
I just
water.
got under.
For some
under
reason,
her with my arms and carried her out.
What was she do? Like, was she just not crying?
She
or
was
anything?
crawling on her knees and walked down
No,
the
I
steps
saw her
and fell
go
in the
in.
pool.
She was crawling.
6 months, I guess I could crawl. I couldn't walk properly.
You were crawling.
Walk down the
and
steps and
you
crawl in the pool.
went right to the edge and you bent down and just flipped.
Flipped in.
When you flipped, your head came up, and you were like this, breathing.
Eyes big as saucers.
I wasn't crying.
You never went under. You never went
surprised.
underwater.
You're like, I don't know what this is.
Believe it? She
God.
never
But I
went
saw
underwater.
you go in, and I was in there just, moments.
Oh, you saw it
You
happen.
weren't like in there for, several minutes.
You saw it
Well,
happen.
she called me. I was home too. She
Yeah,
called
but
me.
I'm alone, and I had to do something, and all I could think of was, well, they're gonna have to stitch me back up again.
Did you move quickly?
Oh, yeah, very
Okay.
Well,
quickly.
yeah, you got to move quickly, just in case
Were
you
you
sink.
hurrying?
Just in case you
Way
sink like
younger,
a
I could
submarine.
move much
Curious.
faster.
Like,
Well, we know her head's not going to sink.
you
There's not a lot in
worried?
there. That's not the heaviest part.
But the class.
Never cried. Nothing.
even when you stood me up, nothing? I didn't like freak
No.
out then?
Mm-mm.
What were
You
you
were-
saying to me?
You were never
I was,
afraid of
I was
water.
very calm.
Did you apologize? I'm so sorry.
No.
You know why you weren't afraid of
No.
water?
What an idiot.
I'm
won't
like, leave
believe
her
this.
in there. Leave her in there.
You won't believe this. You know why you were
I
not?
told you not to
You
do
were not
that.
afraid of water, or Sarah, because when you were in diapers, when we took my boat.
Here we
Remember
go.
my boat?
No, I don't.
I remember your boat.
She
Okay.
was way too young for that.
And you were just in diapers. We took my ski boat. I had our motor ski boat. We went out to the Delta, and friends would come over and meet us, and we'd water ski out there. And then one time you guys would sit in the boat, but I took you in the water all the time in your diaper, and you would just sit in the water
With
and
a
play.
and we had life vests for you. It wasn't like we just took you out there. With
I tried to take them off of
we
you.
didn't. We,
Oh,
we,
sure, like-
we didn't have life vests on
What
here.
happens if I unbutton this top one?
In the boat, she always had a life vest.
She never. But
Yes.
so that was one thing.
Jeez.
But in the pool at the house, I would walk down the stairs and carry you, and I would put you out in the water on your back. Then I would say, "Hold your breath," and I'd let you go.
When she was that little?
Yes.
Not when she was that
Yes.
little.
And she went below water, but she held her breath. She never. She would go below water for a while, then I would lift her up.
But it's
I taught her how to hold her breath.
That's just a baby
I
in
taught
general,
her.
though, will hold
I taught her how to hold her breath underwater because
She wasn't talking.
you got to
She
understand
didn't.
when you're like being born, you're completely engulfed in water.
Yes.
Sure.
You know, as a baby. I mean,
you know that,
you breathe
Joanna?
water.
I did know that. Thank you.
I would hold her like this. No, hold her like this, and I would dunk you underwater,
Oh, yeah.
and
you
Joanna
would,
underwater.
you would push
I
me
thought,
in the
I
water.
thought
And I would
babies
hold you
were in
down.
there with a
He would
snorkel.
hold you under.
Yeah, he would hold me
I
down.
say 1, 2, 3.
He would lose
4.
count.
She's blue. Bring her up.
Where's her snorkel?
Oh, my gosh.
But the classic at the Evelyn Way house was this.
Uh-oh.
Sarah's getting to be yeah, shit, I can swim, I can do all this, I can do anything.
Sassy
She
like
was
she
about-
is now?
I don't know,
Shocking.
what was she had been there before?
Five.
5 or
Sassy.
6? She's walking down one day, she says, Dad, I can go in the deep end, shit, don't worry about me. I said, okay, she's walking out, pew! I pushed her in the
Oh,
water.
God. I can't believe you did that.
I pushed her in the water and I said, okay.
Swim.
Swim. It's what my dad told me one day.
Oh,
He pushed me in. He took me out on a rope swing and dropped me in the water
You guys could dog paddle like nobody's business.
because he caught us, me and my brother, in a quarry
Yeah.
swimming, and I couldn't swim. I was like diving in the little shallow area. But he came over in a car. My dad did one day, and he knew we were there, and he didn't get mad, but he was concerned, and he scolded my brother for bringing me, but. He took me out on his shoulders in the quarry, going out, going
All the way
"Oh,
deep."
so much fun!" All of a sudden, the water's up here, and my dad.
Over his neck.
And he goes, "Boom!" He pushes me off there. He says, "You want to come to this quarry? You better learn how to swim." And he walked back.
Oh.
And I was like, I said, "Holy shit!"
You did not say holy shit.
I said, "Holy whatever!" I said.
Guacamole.
You know,
Holy guacamole.
I splashed and I made it back to shore.
How long did it take you?
I don't know how long.
3 hours.
Just till yesterday. I
That was how
finally
my
made it.
that was how my
got back
father
this morning.
that was how my dad did things.
Wait,
Yeah.
so how did you get me out of the pool? You called Dad.
No, she went in and got you.
No, I went in and got you.
You pulled me out of the water.
I didn't pull you out. I had to go in the water myself and get
go
under.
underneath you because she couldn't bend down and lift.
But I had to get
But
under
what you did-
so that I didn't have to use any stomach muscles.
When I pushed you in, you
hurt
came,
your stitches or anything?
swam and
No,
came to the
but
side of the pool.
You said you called
Kind of
Dad.
held on and swam. Held on and swam back.
Probably did
I said,
at some
okay.
point. But,
You want to come out of here alone? You better learn how to swim. I pushed her ass in the pool.
I mean, they
I would've got
home
you.
alone,
I would've never
you
done
know,
it,
a baby, and I'm, you know, all
And a
stitched
toddler.
up.
I remember.
Well, she was in school.
Oh, okay.
When did I go to the park by myself? When was that?
That was in Covalite. You were about 3. And
Not old enough to go to the park by yourself.
we lived on one corner, and then there was a house behind us on another corner, and across the street from that house was the park. So you just went outside our house, down to the house behind us, and then crossed the street.
You knew the way.
Cross
no
the street.
traffic. There was
Still
no
cross
traffic
the street
that
at 3
time.
years old
Yeah,
by
and-
myself.
And
Believe me, you used to walk home from kindergarten
No, I remember
to our
that.
house, and one of the reasons we left that freaking area is because we heard they were actually trying to sell drugs to kids in the elementary school. at
What?
the school you
I
were at.
remember hearing that.
Yes, I heard that.
Oh.
So I said, no more of this. I'm out
Speaking
of
of drugs, did you see the story about the 80-year-old man and woman traveling cross country with like pounds of marijuana in their car because they told the police it was Christmas presents? Have you not seen this
Was
story?
it wrapped up like Christmas presents?
No, it was just like it was a ton. It's a ton of marijuana in their vehicle.
Where were they coming
I
from?
did see an article
Vermont to somewhere.
about a sea turtle that was off of Florida, off the coast of Florida, was tangled in a bunch of ropes and
And that was all
and that
cocaine
was
or something.
Hundreds of pounds of cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine. And this turtle's all wrapped up in the netting for it.
And the
Why can't I ever find anything like that? That'd be way better than a scratch-off ticket.
the Coast
Cocaine?
Guard found him and freed him.
Yeah. I
must
just
have
sell
been-
it to somebody else for like
have been like
nothing, like
$30.
$1,000. Be like, well, it's on your conscience now. You can sell it for $1 million.
But it comes back to you. It tracks it back to you.
Really, I just feel like I'll give me $1,000. I'll show you where some sea turtle washed up on the shore.
With a couple of other wink,
Yeah,
wink
with some
things.
bricks of something. I don't know, some white stuff that looks very
Some
important.
white stuff that some people might like.
I could play dumb. I could also erase this podcast, no problem.
You gotta look at that story about the weed. Like 80, it's like an 80-year-old man and an
crazy.
83-year-old woman.
John Reap today sent me an article about this gift that these kids gave their teacher.
Oh no.
Or the parents gave the teacher.
Oh, the wine?
The wine.
With the kid's face on it?
Yeah, it says,
My kid has probably made you want to drink once or
my
twice.
kid is the reason you
the
probably
reason
drink.
you want to drink or you do drink. Bottles of wine with the kid's face on it.
I thought that was a great idea.
I said they need to put missing children on wine bottles instead of milk cartons.
Yeah,
That's great.
not as many people drink milk today anyway.
I'll tell you one thing.
That's
When
great.
we made that move to Georgia, of course, the rental house had to rent that little house, for 6 months. That Rebecca Brown gave us.
Oh, we didn't live in the Boonford house the whole time?
No, we rented that house.
Oh, I remember that little
I
house.
remember the
Down by
rental
the-
house.
In a
Catholic
cul-de-sac.
church on the 53 spur down there
Cul-de-sac house.
for 6 months.
Because I was like,
And
thank
that was
God.
when it was a really nice area. And
It had sidewalks. That's what I remember. There were sidewalks and a cul-de-sac, and I was like, sweet, I can ride my bike here. And then we moved to Boone Ford, and I
remember
was
that?
like, this is a communist country. I'm going to leave because I don't know.
We're surrounded by
There's nowhere to ride my bike.
It was so
There's
different.
a gravel driveway,
long gravel
No.
driveway.
long
in
gravel
Boone Ford,
driveway.
but the one we rented was a little paved driveway.
Yeah, that's what.
We're up
That's
there.
what she said.
I'm
But
saying
remember
it
we
was a
stored
better
it,
place.
a lot of our boxes were stored on that little carport overhang, and we lived in there. And that was the one we bought our first VCR.
Oh, really?
It cost $400 for that VCR.
The first
expensive.
VCR? A Blu-ray
Yes.
didn't even cost that much.
Not today.
it
but
cost-
these were back when they
Wow.
were.
I remember because we were living there and we didn't know anybody. We just kind of all together and we wanted to watch movies and everything. And we bought that VCR. It was RCA VCR or something, $400.
Jeez.
I remember that. I hated that
Then we went
gravel-
to bought the house on Boone Ford.
that gravel driveway, especially when I turned 16, because I would wash my car
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
then
I had to drive it down the gravel driveway. And oh God, Daddy, please pave this driveway. Daddy, please.
I remember
pave
how
this driveway.
slow you
My
would drive up
car's
that
getting
driveway.
So dirty.
Listen, this
Not
girl.
me. I would never drive.
You would fly.
The first day for her birthday, when I drove it up the driveway and surprised her, her Ford Escape. It was an Escape, remember?
No,
No, it's an
Escort.
Escort.
A red one.
91
Red
Ford Escort.
I said, when I saw it in Rome at this little junky used car place at
Yeah, you're
$4,000
like-
I said, this is for my daughter. So
Yeah,
paid for
it's
it.
gonna blow up, right? Cool.
and
So
me-
here went out
but
like
you
weeks
never,
later.
you never knew about it.
No, I didn't. I had no clue.
I said, for her birthday,
Must
I'm
be
driving it
nice.
up the driveway, and I did. And
Oh,
the
you
first
got
thing
a good
she did,
car.
remember the first thing you did when I drove it up and gave it to
I
you?
probably washed it.
You took it out in the front yard with a
I washed
front
it.
yard with a toothbrush, and you washed the freaking thing
We are so
with a
different.
toothbrush.
I don't even know how we're related.
That's
Sarah
back
never
when,
was. Sarah never washed her car.
That's back when they didn't have CD players, but you could put the cassette into the cassette player and hold the Discman.
Oh yeah, the
so you
Discman.
could listen to your, but you had to drive very carefully.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God, if you
It
jolted
would
that in
skip.
and restart, you'd get so mad.
That was still a good car.
I
for me.
remember.
And she was out in the front
That
yard.
was a great car.
That was a
front
good-
yard with a hose washing that car. I said,
Oh yeah,
oh my God.
And then the air went out
I'm
in
sure.
the middle of the summer. I was like, God, Daddy, can we?
I had the hand-me-down. I had their car, the Cutlass.
the Cutlass.
And air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Well,
Heck
the good
yeah,
thing
dude.
is you had two cars. You never had to pay for your first ones.
That was the one that you wrecked. Remember the one when you wrecked it with Mom?
When I was 15,
Well,
which
yeah.
is still her fault. I
Which-
still think it's
I
her
remember
fault.
you.
It wasn't
pulling
your
at the school to
fault.
pick me
Wasn't your
up.
fault. That guy should have never run into you.
And I could see it coming around the circle at Sonorbel Middle. And I was like, oh no. Somebody wrecked the car.
Well, he had his blinker on to turn right, and so I thought he was going to turn, so I just moved out. And Mom goes, "Oh my God, stop!" And then I stopped, and
He
then
pulled-
that's when
he
he hit
should have
me.
never
If
pulled
I
in
had
your
kept
lane.
going, if she hadn't have said stop, he would never hit me.
He should have never pulled in your lane. He could have come behind you. And
I got in trouble so much for that, and you ignored me for a whole week, which is the worst punishment I've ever had in my life. I was like, oh, because
just
you
a week.
you would
Just a week.
you would
Just so we-
you
I
guys
probably never slept the whole week.
you would because you guys would be like, go to your room and think about what you did, and like no one can punish me more than me, right, to this day. And man, Daddy ignored me for a whole
But
week, and I was
remember
like,
this.
my dad's never gonna love me again. He's never gonna tell me he loves me.
To this day, I never turn right.
hasn't.
I never turn right when somebody's trying to turn
I know.
right.
To this day, too, whenever I see somebody with their
I want to
blinker,
make sure
I
they're
make sure they
turning
turn,
in
yeah.
because they could
I
pull in
learned.
your lane.
I learned, but
And you know why I learned because of you.
from being mad at you for a week.
I know.
So.
I was so happy because I was like, I would always try. Daddy taught me to drive on that 3 on the tree on the Ford, the blue truck.
Yeah.
What was that?
was
Old
this-
F-150?
Yeah, old.
Yeah, Ford
3 on the tree.
Ford F100.
F-100, yeah.
The baby blue.
The baby blue.
Blue.
And it had the column, 3 speed on the
The
column.
3 on the tree.
The clutch.
And he'd be like, clutch in, clutch in, clutch in. We'd be like driving around that old Piggly Wiggly parking lot. And I'm like, I don't know.
But you know what? I took you to the school.
No.
Sonoraville.
Get down.
Yeah.
I took Joanna to Sonoraville. Probably you went to the school.
I was at
Well, on the lawnmower, we
Winn-Dixie.
drive on that lawnmower.
The lawnmower was a good start, you know.
But I let you drive down the country roads.
But it was an
out there.
You let me drive down the roads, and you let us back forward and go drive down to the end of the driveway to get the mail, and we'd have to drive in reverse all the way back. And to this day, I'm really
that was
good,
good, yeah.
at driving in reverse. I'm super good at parallel parking now because I've lived in LA
You know
for
how
too
many
long.
parents don't even
I'll park somewhere.
Don't
else
even-
around Carolina.
teach the kids any of those things?
They don't know how to do nothing.
You know what they do? They give a $500 instructor to teach them.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to go to any kind of instruction, right?
No, I never took driving.
Yes, but the
school.
reason they get those instructors now is that they get a discount on their insurance
Oh, come
and
on,
stuff.
honey.
It's true.
Place nowadays,
Jesus.
kids sit with iPads at
You know
the
why
dinner
they-
table.
they're
We don't
lazy
even
parents,
talk
honey.
To our children.
It's not offered
Don't give me
in
that. They're
school
lazy
like
parents.
It's not offered in school like it used to be.
That is
Okay,
true.
I agree with that.
That is true. It's not offered in
And in
school.
order to get the discount and the kids to get their license, to get their learners earlier, they have to take that class. And
Well,
that's-
and now a lot of kids are not getting
They
their.
taught me nothing.
I
A
know.
lot of kids are not getting
it's
their
different
license.
now.
My dad did teach me something.
A lot of kids are not getting their license at 16 either. they're waiting until they're 17 or 18 to get
Why?
their license because they're not learning how to drive. They're not learning.
Parents aren't teaching
And they're not
anything.
ready, and their parents don't feel comfortable letting them get their license.
So crazy.
Can you remember? I remember the day I turned 16.
Oh, bye.
Do you remember that? I remember the day I turned 16, that Monday. It was like, my birthday was on a Saturday or Sunday, so that Monday, Mom was like, first thing, we'll go down and get your license. We drove all the way there. I was pumped. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
It was Columbus
closed.
Day. And they were closed. It was a holiday. I was dying, and Mom was like, we'll try tomorrow.
Mine had to be around President's Day. I don't remember. I just remember.
So mad that
I remember
day.
the first place I drove, I think, was to work. To the
Probably
Nike
to the
outlet.
Nike outlet.
Yeah, because Daddy used to drive me to work.
To steal more stuff.
Do you remember one thing
Yeah.
I did? Do you remember one thing I made sure that you did, that you learned?
I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
That I was in the car?
What?
What was it?
What?
I would never let you do certain thing unless I was with you for the first time.
Talk on our cell phones.
Wait, you talking about?
Drive on the freeway.
Oh,
the
the freeway.
freeway,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the merging.
I was with you and I said, speed up, get a little faster here. Make sure you look out, make sure you merge. I would never let you go on the freeway until I was with you.
I was talking to Jennifer Weehunt the other night about that time.
Devaney.
Yeah, now Devaney. Me and her and Merritt drove. We were going to Town Center for something, and we had just bought the Alanis Morissette. I just had that new CD, and we were listening to it we were like memorizing all the songs. And then on the way to Town Center, we decided to go to Atlanta to Nike Town. And so we didn't get back till like way after midnight, you know. I always
Where'd we at?
told you guys whatever I always
Outside?
answered truthfully whatever question you asked me. I wasn't going to offer up any information, but whatever you asked me, I'll be honest. And you're like, Daddy goes, you got in awfully late last night. Where'd you go? And I go, we ended up going to Nike Town down in Atlanta. And I was like 17. You were so upset that I drove all the way into Atlanta in the middle of the night and like all the way back and did not tell you. And I didn't get to drive the car, I think, for a week. I didn't get to go anywhere.
That's a long way. That was a
really long way. Yeah, no, I agree. But I didn't think it was anything bad.
You
don't think those things.
You told us you were going to the mall.
Yeah. Which I thought we were.
And then then you told us later you went someplace else.
We changed our mind. But I didn't really think that so I just remember how upset you were, and I was like, oh man, I didn't know. But now I remember after that car accident, I got in a lot of trouble, and I didn't get grounded. I got phone restriction, which was way more embarrassing.
Way worse.
Because my friends would call and be like, my mom would go, Sarah can't come to the phone right now. She has phone restriction. Oh, I got made fun of I would have been cool if I got grounded.
So funny you say that because that water bottle you got Beatrice for Christmas.
Yeah.
She's drinking it before we left the house this afternoon, and she's like, I'm so glad I got this. Nobody will make fun of me for this one. And I went,
What?
I don't understand. And she goes, remember that one Shanda got me that says love on it? And I went, yeah. And she goes, yeah, I took that to school one day. Oh, I'll never take that to school again.
Why?
The kids were like, what does that say? And I was like, love. And they were just like, laughing and talking about me and stuff. And I was like, oh, she's so in middle school. That's such a middle school
sucks.
thing. You know what I mean? But like just stuff like that.
Just a word.
She was a word.
Just a word
on a water
on a
bottle,
water
and she
bottle.
doesn't want to take it
The
to school
reason
anymore.
we treated you differently, like nobody taught Mom how to drive a whole lot. I mean,
Yes, I did. My
taught-
mother taught me to drive.
yeah, but I taught you how to drive a little bit more. Like
No, that's
stick
not
shift.
true.
More or better?
Stick
Which
shift.
You
one?
taught me how to drive a stick shift. My mother couldn't drive a stick.
Thank God I did, because you were not a very good driver at the time.
Oh my! She doesn't brake check like you do, so she goes a lot faster.
My dad, here he is, a truck driver. He used to be a race car driver, mechanic.
Your dad used to be a race car driver?
Yeah, after the Navy, when he came out of the Navy, when he was working in the manufacturing plant, he built and drove race cars. His
Wow.
race car was number 76. I told you about
track.
this.
Oh,
Dirt track fairground, quarter mile.
cool. Wow.
And I was always looking for that picture. It was him in his helmet. This old old football helmet they used to wear.
They would wear those in the race
leather helmet.
Oh,
And sitting outside his car, number 76, like a 48 Plymouth.
yeah.
But he told me a lot about mechanics, but he didn't take me out because he didn't have time to take me out and teach me how to drive.
Right.
And so he were my brother. So we had to kind of learn how to drive a lot on our own. We just drive around the neighborhood, you know.
Did
like get in the car and drive around the neighborhood. But
was it always a stick?
no, it was an automatic.
Okay.
But
Because your dad also drove a semi truck. I was like,
oh yeah, it was like 10
did you ever have to
10
learn to
speeds.
drive that?
No, but you know, I told you when I became a manager with Alpha Beta, they sent us to truck driving school
They did?
because we were all union in California, and if they went on strike, they would teach us that we got our commercial license. We'd have to actually drive the semi trucks and back them into the docks. They'd park them out front of the Teamsters. They wouldn't back them up. We had to back them in the docks and break them down. So we had to have a commercial license. So we went to truck driver training school. As soon as I became a manager, there was like 10 of us that became managers in California. And they taught us in 2 weeks. As a matter of, I was so good at it because my dad was a truck driver. I was so good the second day driving a truck with a double trailer.
Double.
He says, your handler's pretty good with this 10-speed. I said, I didn't tell him about my dad or anything. He said, let's go. So this is the guy who runs the fleet.
The Alpha Beta fleet, the truck fleet, the
in
delivery.
Milpitas, California, in the north. And he got in there with me, sitting there. He said, let's go. So he took me out there. He said, head down here. We went through Fremont Boulevard. And I'm driving a double trailer. It's a trailer, a little wheel, like a little thing here, and another trailer. Empty. It was empty. And 10 speed. So you don't even use the clutch on a 10 speed. The first gear is the clutch. When you take off, you just rev the RPMs in that you push it into gear. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then you hit this red button, and then you do the other 5 gears.
See the jacks. Oh, 5.
No, it's called. You hit this little red button on your shifter, and you go to the other 5 gears.
Jeez.
10 speeds.
Got it? Can you go drive now?
Yeah, I got it.
So
let me try.
I'm down Fremont Boulevard.
Reverse.
He's saying, "Watch that car! Turn right up there!"
Oh,
God Almighty! When I got out of that truck, I made it Fremont Boulevard. We went down the road. And we came back to the freeway. Went back to Milpitas, back into the warehouse. The second day, I was on doing that. And I was the only one who did that.
Oh yeah.
Because I was driving and backing the truck in like one trailer and doing pretty good. So he probably thought I was hot shit. So he wanted to bust my ass. When I got out of there, I was soaked.
Soaked.
Because
really,
of the
sweat.
tension.
Yeah.
The tension.
Oh.
Like, when I went over the curve
Like
with a double
physically it's
trailer,
hard.
turning right off Fremont Boulevard on a double trailer, he says, "Watch the telephone pole." You're close to it. I went over the curve.
You kids were just young.
Do you know what?
Oh, we're ready for him.
They taught us, and there was 3 tests for the to get your driver's license. We had to do the driving. Of course, we did it at the plant, and they knew all the answers to all 3 tests.
Who did?
Our company.
Your company. Oh.
They knew all the tests and all the answers. So they gave them to all.
Cheaters.
They gave them to. Yeah, they cheated.
That's cheating.
Because they just wanted us to get our license.
Yeah.
So they didn't think we were ever going to drive.
Yeah, they didn't think they would ever have to drive a truck. They just need to have their license.
Let's go back to the $400 VCR.
And he gave.
I know stuck on that.
And he gave us 3 tests. We had to memorize there was about 25 questions on every test.
Oh, wow.
We had to so we could memorize them all. We all got like 98s.
Wow.
Let's miss one on purpose.
Just so they don't get
just
suspicious.
so they don't get suspicious.
Yeah,
Then
right.
I'll make 100.
God, I can't.
They knew exactly what we were doing.
Let's get back
Because they
to
knew,
how
but believe it or not, when we went on strike, there were people in Southern California where our bakery was and our ice cream, we had a big ice cream place and dairy and bakery, that would actually, these guys during strikes, like me, managers, would get in the trucks and drive the stuff from Southern California all the way to the Northern California.
Oh my gosh.
And I never had to do that. But I could have done that, but I didn't want to have to do it.
Nobody would.
Mostly we were, the Teamsters on strike would say, "We're not coming into your dock." They would park it out there and drop the truck, stop it. Then you would have to get in the truck, drive it back behind your store, a double trailer. You would unhook one trailer, and then pull in the single, pull it out,
Jeez.
hook the other trailer up. So they taught us how to hook all the trailers.
That was during the strike. Which strike?
We had more than one strike.
Which strike was that? The Teamsters strike?
Teamsters. We never had, Mom and I never had to, and I never had to face, we would face a strike with with the United Commercial Workers Union I was in. But, and the meat people, we had 3 unions. My union, the clerks, meat cutters, and the Teamsters who drove the product to the store. So we went through strikes at all 3 of those in 10 years, 12 years.
Do you ever
Mom will tell you, she was out in the store one day when in San Ramon, and the Teamsters came out to us on the picket line because I actually crossed the picket line.
Oh, yeah.
And they came out and threatened us, basically.
Jeez.
Mom started crying and everything. I said, man, get the hell out of here.
It'd be a shame if you had to raise those children alone, Lisa.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'd
nasty.
go up and meet Dad for lunch. I'd bring you kids, and
They were nasty.
oh, they were horrible.
Raise those children alone.
Signs out there.
Something happened to your
And they would
husband,
talk
you had to
nasty
raise
to
those children.
the customers coming in the store.
Yeah, I bet. Oh,
That's a threat. How
Strike.
can I threaten you like that?
Oh, it's their word against ours.
Yeah, they can just say we didn't say it.
So not much has changed.
Yeah, right.
You were saying you wanted to get back to what?
Oh, Daddy teaching you how to drive. I was like, Kenny.
No, she was a pretty good driver, except I taught her how to drive a stick shift because Mark had bought a Datsun, right? Was it a Datsun?
No, my mother bought the Datsun truck for Mark and I
For
to
Mark.
share, but that was an automatic.
No, it was a shift.
No.
That's how I taught you how to drive on that truck.
I learned on your car.
I never had a shift on my car. Never.
Gotta knock this
Mom
over.
wouldn't have bought a
Go.
stick shift.
I had the
She didn't know how to
Volkswagen.
drive it.
Volkswagen we had after we got married, but you already knew about the
You
stick shift.
guys stop fighting. I don't want you to get
No.
divorced.
I taught her on the truck that her mom bought for Mark.
He didn't teach me to drive. He taught me to drive a stick.
Who gets the water cooler? Who's gonna take that?
I know. I used to want Mom and Dad to get divorced so bad when we were little.
What?
For 2 Christmases, all my friends had parents who were divorced, and they were spoiled, and they got all kinds of gifts.
Guilt.
Come on.
Christmas
I never got
guilt.
anything.
We had the best Christmases. You gotta admit.
We did have
Mom
We had
and Dad
wonderful-
knew how to do Christmas.
No, Mom did. Your mom was always
Mom
the
knew
Christmas.
how to do Christmas.
She
Our
knew how to-
stockings were always full.
Yeah, we
had
always
a ton
had
of
tons
presents.
of stuff. Except for just that 4-year period when I really needed cool stuff.
In high school?
In high school, and that's when Daddy bought the business and we were poor, and you never
She
saw
just-
any of it because you were too
a
young.
lot.
But we did, and we made
She
it.
just didn't want you to be a brat. That's all.
But man,
She wanted to be brats.
I still feel bad because you were talking about how we don't have any Christmas videos, and I remember seeing like this. By the way, they only bought a camcorder during my awkward years. That was really cool. When you were cute, they
Because
bought a
you
camcorder.
You were funny looking.
Okay,
We
but
had to
I
take
hit
pictures of you.
yours too
So
eventually.
awkward. They don't have any of that on video. They got tired of the camcorder by that time. Remington, stop growling.
No.
But listen to her. Remy. But then, there's this video of us at Christmas, and I'm opening up, I'm probably like 13, 14. I gotta be
You're at that turdish
terrible age. And we're poor for the first time ever because Dad bought the business because he wanted to coach my basketball team like a real good person and like a good father. And
Only because somebody asked me.
and I open up a box and it's fabric, and you go, I'll make you anything you want from that fabric. And my face is like, wow, thank you. Like, oh, just like terrible.
guarantee you,
Like, I feel
Our
so.
family, that's you.
That's what I'm saying. I hate that. Like, I hate
never had
watching
that.
those and going like, oh man, I was so
We never had
awful
that
and
many
mean.
presents
You know
under
where
the
I
tree
got
in
that
Mom.
from? It's because my Aunt Barbara used to do
always
that.
seems
She'd
like
give us
we
fabric
did.
and she'd go, what would
We
you
never had
like
that
to be
many
made out of
presents.
this? And we go,
Oh,
oh,
maybe
I want
one
a
or two.
dress, or I want
I just feel so
One
bad.
from each of us and from your family,
I
but
just remember Christmas as always being good. That's
Oh
all I
yeah, we
remember.
always had really cool stuff, and we got like I remember.
I can remember Mom would always say, if you wake up before us, you can do your stockings.
Right, yeah.
But you
And so
cannot
we would-
open gifts. So Sarah and I
Man,
would get up so early, and
Yeah.
we'd always sit on your bed.
Yeah.
Because you had the water bed.
Water bed.
We'd sit on your bed, and we'd go through all, because it was always pretty much the same stuff. We'd go through everything in our
Still have the same
stocking.
stuff. Oh, we used to have. I have the same my stocking at home, the same one that I grew up with.
Yes.
But like, we remember the green stool.
Yes.
Mama would put the cookies and the milk on that green stool. We loved that green stool.
Yeah.
Growing up.
She took the big bite out of the cookie.
Oh, I know. I
You
saw
drank
her
the
one.
milk?
That's how we
No. I thought we had Kahlua.
Dad drink milk.
Santa wants Kahlua.
I know.
I can
never
remember
did
sitting on your bed going through all of our stuff, and then I'd always be like, I'll put your stuff back because you never put it back right. Like, I would put all of our stuff back in our stockings because I wanted it to fit just right.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be
It's like it was a big
"Whatever."
puzzle.
And you'd like roll over and go back to bed.
Yeah, we're like, all right, well, now I know what I got in
Wait.
that.
You can credit your mom for all those
I
great
know.
Christmases.
She's still
'cause
good at stuff.
she
We
grew
still
up-
do.
She grew
We
up
credit
with
her
all
for
those
everything,
nice
Daddy.
things.
I know.
When I grew up,
Oh, here we go.
Here.
Mom didn't wrap her presents. When we got up there,
Your mom?
When we were young, they were laying out there with their
Yeah,
names
his
on
mom.
them. They were not wrapped.
You got it
Like a watch
Christmas
or
morning.
Christmas
You only
morning.
got it
They were
Christmas
not
morning,
wrapped.
Yeah.
And what did you get?
And then
You
when
got
we moved to
like
Bowles Harbor, that was when we were fairly good off financially. And then we went bankrupt and we moved to Bowles
you got
Harbor.
like a fur scarf that she would
Bowles
borrow.
Harbor. But no relatives in our family ever brought presents to us.
Yeah.
Really?
Nobody. They came for dinner, which was our big thing.
I don't think you would
Christmas
want
dinner,
Uncle JR to
thanks-
bring you presents.
Malcolm and Orville
cigarettes.
stopped by, and Jury, Helen, but there was never any presents brought. Mom will tell you that. And well, she
believe
was,
that.
She
I
wasn't,
wasn't there.
she wasn't there yet. But it didn't matter to us. I mean, well, this is the way we grew up.
Yeah.
But mom and dad occasionally would have a pretty good year. Dad would have a decent year, and there would be a few wrapped presents under there. But one year was really bad. We had a tree with hardly anything. And I looked under the bed one day before Christmas, and there was a basketball and a football under there, unwrapped. Under the
Under
bed
your mom's bed?
my brother and I slept in. I said, no, there ain't no Santa Claus now. They weren't even wrapped
Yeah.
Oh man.
because
Yeah, but Santa's gifts weren't supposed to be wrapped.
no. But
know.
we still had. The thing is, we had all the family came in. Grandma and
Yeah.
not Grandpa, he was long past, but Grandma and Malcolm and Jury and Orville and
All your aunts and
JR.
uncles, yeah.
We all got together and we had a really great time.
They all-
That's all it's about anyway.
That's what it's about.
But we did have we always had a nice fresh Christmas tree.
If we could
bought our fresh tree. And then we had these big cypress out in front of the porch in Bowles Harbor, and we always had those big lights, like that.
Oh yeah,
big
the
ones,
giant. Yeah.
big ones.
30s or something
And
like that.
we decorated those things out there. And then we decorated the tree really nice. Not a lot of decorations,
Well, the
but
first artificial trees were
I just
aluminum.
loved.
Oh really?
Yeah, you've seen the aluminum
But it
trees,
didn't matter.
the silver. Mm-hmm.
I just
those were the
love-
first artificial trees.
I still could not sleep at
They
night
never
on
looked
Christmas.
real.
Yeah.
I don't care if I had presents under the tree or not. Christmas was the night.
Yeah,
that,
but if-
I tried to go to sleep. I told my brother because we had the same bedroom, we shared the same bed. He said, "Quit turning, go to sleep, you dumbass." I said, "No, but I could never go to sleep for hours and hours
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it was
there's something
Christmas
about
Eve."
I was so excited. I was the same
I
way.
remember waking up during the night. I heard a noise in my brother's room. My sister and I slept in the same room. My brother had his own room, and I remember hearing noise in there. And I went to his room, and he was in the closet. And he was getting dressed. It's pitch dark. It was probably early morning hours, but he was getting dressed because he wanted to be ready to go out.
To go out to
and
get
look at the
gifts.
My brother never really said. He was probably the one who told me, Santa Claus. What the hell are you thinking about?
Right.
Ain't no Santa Claus. My brother was probably the one that told me. There was, how he is. Of course, he's the one that told me there's no
How did you find out,
Santa
JoJo?
Claus. We never told you. You just kind of figured it out.
No, I remember writing a letter to Santa one year. I wrote a letter to Santa.
Dear Santa, do you exist?
It was pretty much.
I know, I'm just
Pretty
saying.
much, it was something like that. Like, the kids at school say you're not real, but I swear you are. It was something along those lines. And I'll know you're real if you'll just sign my letter. So it's signed here. I drew a line for him to sign. And it was there the next morning. It had been signed, but it was Daddy's hand.
I did that?
Yeah, I could tell.
I don't remember that.
It was the way the S was formed.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, dang, that's my daddy's hand.
Daddy didn't even try to hide the...
Well, it was like he tried to do it with his right hand. Because he's a lefty. And
But he's aren't you ambidextrous?
No.
Oh.
But I could tell the way he wrote
I could do it, but not very
He
good.
does some things left-handed and some things right-handed, but he can't do
I
anything
don't remember
with both
that.
hands.
I don't remember that. But
He's all laughing at the fact that you wrote
your
a letter and he's
was
the one that signed it.
who always gave you all the great Christmas stuff.
Oh, no, I know. But I said on the podcast last week that I remember because of the pink radio. Did you guys listen to that episode? You gave me that pink radio and you accidentally turned it on.
Boombox.
You accidentally turned it on. I was all loud. And my room faced right into the living room. And then I hear both of y'all laughing hysterically.
Was that like when you went to sleep that night before Christmas?
Yeah, and then I saw
we put things together and we put them out.
the batteries. You put the batteries.
No, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. I had a lot of fun doing the cookies and the
I
milk.
had this conversation with her, so let's just mix it if she wants.
I had a lot of fun with the cookies and the milk and everything.
Oh, yeah, I saw Mama eat one of them cookies, and I was like, that's for Santa!
But you know, every year we moved, well, we had even living in California, we started, with Barbara and Lenny, everybody, and it was just so giving that just like present after present. But then we moved, the same thing, but we still got no presents from my family.
Yeah, but I'd much rather do a Lake Tahoe thing any day for Christmas and have all the family together than to get a present.
Oh, you mean like we did for Nana's birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I would
was so
much
much
rather
fun.
be with everybody.
Oh, I would love to have a Christmas all together
than
again.
to do
We
presents.
did a Christmas one year. I took you girls out to
Oh,
California.
yeah, but
get over
Daddy
it.
wouldn't...
But Dad didn't go with us, and it was the worst Christmas ever.
Yeah, I remember.
It was the worst. I said it was so nice to be with family, but Dad wasn't there.
Dad
it
was
wasn't
all
the
alone
same.
for Christmas, and
It
the
wasn't-
whole
wasn't complete.
Do you remember those bells on the door?
Oh yeah, I've
What?
had those for years.
Do you remember those?
The jingle bells
Where she put them at the Boone Ford house?
No.
on the door.
They go on the front door. So we could never come in late.
You can't
ever.
sneak in.
You try to just quietly open the door. Jingle, 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 jingle. You're like, "Damn."
I don't remember ever coming
It was
home
only
late.
Christmas though. I only had them up at
I don't think I ever come
You
home
girls
late.
were always very good about all that.
I was good about it. Joanna was the
Joanna
one
was
that...
not as good.
Not as good.
Well, you remember I gave you
I was
that,
terrified of ever doing
that-
anything wrong.
that phone that Jim gave me? That big old thing. It was like bigger than...
The cell phone?
Yeah.
The car phone, yeah.
It was the car.
You
first
had that
car
in my
phone,
car.
And I gave it to... Was it to you or Joanna?
I had it.
I had it too at some point. Maybe
Well,
when she went to
Pastor
college.
Hughes.
When I went to college, because we were 4 years apart, so once
Yeah.
I used to pretend like I was on that phone all the time.
I said...
You're like, never, ever use this phone except in an emergency.
No, I said, if you're driving out there,
$1.50
you're
a
driving
minute.
out at night alone, you better have that phone with you. And I gave it to you from my... Jim gave it to me. His brother bought it. Gave it to Jim. Jim gave it to me when the phones started getting better,
Man, oh man.
That was a big old thing, wasn't it?
Phones are so
In high
good.
school, I remember having a cell phone in high school.
Yeah,
some point
you
I
didn't
had
have the car phone very long because
No.
it was really outdated
You,
at that point.
you didn't have a pager?
I had a pager at first. That was more middle school for me.
The pager?
Middle school, early high school, and then I can remember putting my cell phone in my locker at high school.
Wow.
They were like the big ones.
Yeah, giant, yeah.
You know,
like
they
a
were,
big Hershey bar.
yeah, they were the big
That you had to
ones.
pull the antenna out of.
I don't remember it having an
Mine had
antenna,
an
but I remember
antenna.
it being big. 'Cause I
And
remember
heavy.
the case mine. It was very heavy.
And you got a new phone before I did. I was going to hold on to mine,
Probably.
and you got a new one, and it was so much lighter, and I couldn't believe what the difference. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's
I'm
so
gonna have
much-
to
you
get
could
one
put
of
that in a pocket."
these. Yeah, oh,
I
wow.
couldn't put mine. in
And
the
now we're
pocket.
recording my podcast on
The
one.
good thing
Are you
is...
still recording?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. I need to stop because it's been over an hour.
I didn't have a
Oh
problem
gosh,
in
who's going to
Cal.
listen to that?
I
In
know.
Calhoun, because we knew everybody and they knew everybody.
Yeah.
I felt safe with them around Calhoun. It's when they ventured, to Rome,
To the Nike
Chattanooga.
town.
Yeah,
Chattanooga.
Atlanta.
They wanted to go to Chattanooga or Rome or Atlanta
Dalton.
or Marietta.
We wanted to go to Dalton, the
Never
mall.
wanted
Go
to
to the
stay
mall,
in Calhoun.
yeah.
Dalton really wasn't too bad, but staying around Calhoun, we never worried about them too much.
That's probably the one place that we were not the safest. With all the meth addicts in Calhoun.
But you stayed away from those people.
Oh, yeah, of
Believe me.
course.
Turn it off.
You were
and-
very smart.
Yeah.
Clear the table.
Thank you guys for discussing all of our.
You were very smart to stay away from all those people. We
Okay.
taught you better.
Christmas 2017.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New Year.
Christmas.
This will air right before New Year's.
Okay, Happy New Year then.
Happy New Year.
Precious child, and no mother's love